My Before 30 series is officially coming to an end because I turned 30 in just a few days. So I think this might actually be my last video, which is crazy because I started it, I think, at the beginning of the year. And I didn't get too far into it because if you don't know, I'm pregnant. So, for 3 months, I just couldn't do anything besides just kind of lay in bed. And basically, if you couldn't tell from the title, I just wanted to go over some lessons that I learned in my 20s. I wanted to do 30 lessons before 30, but I feel like that would have been too long. And also, I don't think I would have been able to actually get through everything that I would have wanted to get to. Like, how do you just pick 30 lessons out of 30 years of your life? Like, that's hard. So, yeah, I just wrote down a few on my notebook and we're gonna go into them because I feel like these are kind of like the most important ones and like the ones that kind of like really shape you in your 20s, if that makes sense. Because I feel like in your 20s, like it's kind of universal, maybe just for girls, but I'm sure for guys too. But a lot of the things that I went through or that I realized now, that a lot of the lessons that I learned in my 20s, I feel like are pretty universal to almost everyone, mainly girls, I feel like, maybe, but maybe guys too. But I feel like they're things that like people will give you advice on in the moment, but because you're not ready to take that advice, you just don't listen to it. So, I don't know, for me, these are pretty important. And I hope they're actually really helpful if you are in your 20s. Maybe you're going through the same things. And I'm sure a lot of these things maybe you've heard in your life already. But I thought some sisterly advice today would be kind of nice, especially just to end the whole series going into my 30s. And that's not to say that a lot of these lessons can't be taken into your 30s either, but I'm just going to get into them because I'm never going to start talking about them. So the first one that I could really think of is kind of like a major one, but it's really just that not all relationships are meant to last, which unfortunately you're not always going to know the reason why. And that's the scary part about life, is like you don't have all the answers all the time. But whether it's romantically or just friendships, like it's just, they're not all meant to stay in your life forever. And some people are lucky where they do have those long lasting relationships until they die. But I wasn't so lucky in that capacity, which, I mean, I guess it kind of like made room for new relationships that were better and that were going to last longer to come into my life. But unfortunately, like, guy or girl that you're in love with, they're not going to stay with you forever. They might not even love you in the same way. And the friendships that you might have had since you were little that maybe made it a little bit into adulthood, because weirdly your 20s is the beginning of your adult life, they don't last either, unfortunately, which is really, really sad because sometimes they just stop and you don't know why. And I think that's actually I think that's one of the hardest lessons that you go through, because a lot of those relationships either taught you a lot or just mean a lot to you and you feel like you're never going to find them again. And I promise you it's not true. You're going to find them on different levels. And that's okay. It's not like you just stop making relationships with people. It's just now they're going to be a little bit different. And when you find them when you're older, which it is a little bit harder to find these friendships when you're older, but you still find them. I promise you're going to be fine. The next one is like something that I wish I could always just go back in time and to do, is to just learn better financial habits, because I feel like I didn't really know a lot of things when I was younger. And so I made really poor financial decisions, not like major that made me go like bankrupt, but enough to where now that I'm almost 30, I'm married, I'm starting a family, I don't really have enough funds to sustain myself if something like losing my job happened. And unfortunately, I know, like with a lot of Americans, that's the case for everyone. But I feel like in the past few years, I've learned a little bit better habits. They're not great. They're still a little bit flawed, but they're there and they do what they need to do. And I mean, I'm still living and I still have an apartment and I'm able to buy food and I can still buy things if I need to. But yeah, I wish I would have had a little bit more financial literacy when I was younger, especially in college. You like finally have this freedom to like live on your own. So you think you're free to also spend whatever money you, I don't know, for me personally, like I didn't learn about credit cards. I just got credit cards, maxed them out, thinking that I could just pay them back. I didn't know what interest was. I didn't know how anything worked. So yeah, that was a tough lesson to learn. And now that I'm almost 30, I still have debt that I wish I didn't have. That's not just student loans. And yeah, I just wish someone had been there to teach me, or I knew how to teach myself all of these things, because it's actually not as scary as you think. So if people don't want to teach you about finances, like I think it's time you learn. I think it's time that you start asking for like raises at work and just learning how to like maximize your income through different streams of income. Like there's so many opportunities nowadays that don't just require you making an income from a 9 to 5 job. And next to that is you're still young at 30. Like I'm 30 with a baby on the way. And when I tell you that I feel like a teen mom, like I feel like a teen mom. Like I feel like I'm still so young to be doing any of this. Like I'm a wife. I'm going to be a mom. Those are just really weird things to hear come out of my mouth at this time. Because I still feel like a 20-year-old who like just started college, finally have like freedom to go drive everywhere and go on trips. And yeah, I actually don't have everything figured out yet. So to the people who are telling you like, yes, you still have time, you do. I definitely think you, like your 20s are meant to kind of like at least kind of have an idea of where you want to go. That way, like by the time you're 30, you have like an actual idea and a plan. So many of us are 30 are still figuring out what the heck to do with our lives. And it's not even your fault if you're someone who's like, well, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do that. This isn't for me. It's just that the world is just constantly changing. There's so many decisions that have to be made all the time. So you're always kind of having to pivot, but it's okay if you don't have it all figured out. I struggled with a lot in my 20s because I feel like in your 20s, you're very hyper focused and you've been kind of trained to think that it's your 20s. You need to, do as much as possible, hang out with as many people as possible. I feel like in your 20s, you also need to learn how to just enjoy being in your own company. Like, I'm not saying be a loner, like you need to socialize. That's just part of human nature. Like we need basic human connection. But like being okay with not going out every single weekend, going out and drinking or doing whatever it is that you think is cool at this stage in your life. But like it's okay to like want to stay home on a weekend because you want to binge a show or you want to catch up on, I don't know, homework. That wasn't me. I never did that. But like reading a good book, or you just want to stay home because you're just not in the mood to like go out, or you just don't have the money to spend. That's totally fine. And I think we all just need to have a little bit more understanding that like it's not all about going out and doing things. Like if I could go back to my 20s or my time in college, one, I'd save more money. Two, I'd save money to like go actually do things. Like going out to the bar and spending money on cheap drinks isn't something that I probably should have been doing. Obviously, you're 20 or 21 and you think it's a cool thing to do and that's all you want to do. But it's like not like looking back now, I'm like, that actually wasn't fun. I actually did not have a good time. I like would force my friends to go out with me just so I can like maybe see certain people that I thought were going to be there. But like I didn't actually want to do that. And if I had known how to like just enjoy myself, enjoy my own company, like enjoy just being around the friends that I did have and like doing things that they wanted to do too, like I probably would have enjoyed my time a little bit more. I probably would have been a little bit less depressed. Because again, I just thought that's what I had to be doing. Turns out I could have just done whatever I wanted. And it's not like anyone forced me to do it either. It's just, I just thought that's what needed to be done. And if I could go back, I would do things a little bit differently. And I probably would have had a lot more fun doing those things. And maybe I would have made better financial decisions so that I wasn't struggling now. But unfortunately, I can't go back and tell my younger self that. But I can tell all of you if you are younger and you're also kind of feeling like maybe like you should be doing more. And it's like, no, your 20s are meant for you to like relax and chill out and just kind of like figure it out. it's not meant for you to stress out about graduating college and finding a good paying job. Like, that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, some people are still conditioned to do that, and that's how their life is, and that's how they're going to stay. But if you're someone like me who's a little bit more creative, and like, I did enjoy going to school, but I wish I would have done a lot more in my 20s to help prepare me for the life that I knew I've always wanted now in my 30s. And along with that, just again, I can't emphasize enough, do the things that you want to do. Because not to say that you can't do them when you're older or in your 30s, but like me, for example, I really, really, really wanted to go study abroad. And I almost did it once, but because I didn't have the money for it and I didn't have the support from parents, I couldn't do it. And that was on me. I've been working since I was 16, so like, there's no reason for me not to have had the money. I just made poor financial decisions. I made poor life choices. I kind of base a lot of my decisions on like what was in front of me, who I was with at the time. I missed out on a lot of things. I really wanted to go study in like England. And now looking back on my life, just where I am right now, like, I wish I could have gone to study in Scotland. Like, that just would have been so much fun. And I do see all these young girls now. Well, they live in other countries, but they have gone to study abroad for them. And I don't know, I feel like they're living their best life, and I didn't get to do that. And that's just one of my regrets in my 30s. I know you're not supposed to have any regrets in life. And I mean, I can still travel and do those things, so it's not like I can't ever go. But it's a little bit different to be able to like look back on your life and say, oh my God, yeah, I studied here for X amount of time and I made these friends and I got to live in their culture and like, it's so cool. And I can't say that. So just do the things that you know you really want to do. Like, there's always a way to do it. There's scholarships. You can work additional jobs until that happens. There are ways. And if you're lucky enough to where your family supports you both, you know, mentally and financially, then by all means, go do it. Don't worry about your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your friends that you think you're going to miss. You're going to make new memories in this new place if that's something that you want to do. If you're okay just staying in your little hometown or wherever you are going to college, that's perfectly fine too. I really think that you need to actually take advantage of everything so that you can just maximize your experience. And along with that, kind of my last lesson from my 20s is just get in the habit of learning things. Like, I stopped wanting to learn when like TikTok and Instagram kind of took over our lives, and which is so sad because I always have it in the back of my head or like on my to-do list, like, learn philosophy again, which is my major, and I don't remember anything about my major. Or like, I want to learn how to write like calligraphy or cursive because my handwriting sucks. Just things that I like to do that I think are like whimsical and fun, and think like habits that I would want to incorporate in my life. And I don't do them, and that is probably just a me problem. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who don't have that problem and they can multitask and do multiple things and still watch TikTok. But when I sit down and I have a free time, I just would rather just disassociate and not do anything and not have to think. And it's definitely part of the bad habits that I've incorporated in my life in my 20s. More specifically, I think I started those bad habits at like 22. I don't even know when TikTok came out, like what, I was 23 or 24, something a few years ago. And yeah, look where I am now. I'm just starting a YouTube channel, which I've actually always wanted to do. I've always been embarrassed to start, but I just keep thinking like so many other people are doing it. So why can't I do it? Like, why should I be embarrassed? And it's really just me talking to myself. And that's just what I keep telling myself. Like, if people find my channel that know me, I can just ignore that and be like, no, whoever's watching this doesn't know who I am. And there's nothing to be embarrassed about. You're just literally talking to a screen. And those people don't talk to you anyway. But those are actually kind of all of my lessons from my 20s that I can think of that actually had meaning and significance to me, and that I just think about so often. And I would just hate to think that there are still 20-year-olds out there, or just people in their 20s who might end up like me. Not that to say that my life is terrible. My life is pretty good. But there are certain things that I wish I would have done differently, or just things that I wish I would have done, just so that I got to my 30s while I'm still figuring out life and not think that I regretted not doing those things. But yeah, I hope that this video was actually somewhat helpful, because I actually would have loved to hear all of this when I was 20. But I wish like someone actually like sat down with me and like told me like their experiences of like why you shouldn't do something. Because I feel like if someone just tells you to do something or not to do something, you're just like, whatever, you kind of just brush it off. But when they have actual like experiences to share with you, you kind of get a bigger idea of what it actually means to not do those things or to do those things, and how it actually impacts your life. So yeah, I hope that's what happened today. I hope it was helpful. But yeah, I think that's my last video for my Before 30 series. So next time I see you, I will be 30. Bye.